This is a Dreamcast disc and is for use only on a Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers.
Dreamcast, up to 6 billion players.
Welcome back to the stage of history.
Why don't we play together?
Hey, it's time to make some crazy money. Are you ready? Here we go!
Please stop this disc now.
Welcome back, dear listeners, to the loving embrace of the Dreamcast Junkyard DreamPod. We are delighted to say that this episode will form part of the veritable feast of audio goodness that is the prestigious RadioSEGA WinterFest, an event that is now in its 10th year, no less. So, if you happen to get tired of our ramblings about the Dreamcast, we would highly recommend that you lend your ears to one of the many other shows that the WinterFest has to offer. For those who are sticking by us, let it be known that the Junkyard has stockings hanging by the fire. Our fridge is packed to the brim with artery-clogging grub, and we have a stellar lineup ready to deliver a DreamPod episode that is thoroughly imbibed with the festive spirit.
You're locked into Radio Sega, and this is our WinterFest 2023 weekend.
First and foremost, we are over the moon to welcome Pat from Sega Saturn SHIRO. You feeling festive, mate?
Yeah, I'm getting ready, getting the house ready for Christmas. I'm feeling festive. I actually got my VMU installed, playing the Sonic Adventure Christmas thing, touching the tree and hearing the little jingles. So I'm getting pretty festive with it. Playing Christmas Nights, of course. Actually, I need to boot that up. I don't think I played that yet, but I'll play some Christmas Nights. We're actually going to review the one of the controllers coming up, so I'm probably going to play some Christmas Nights in celebration of that and, do my job at once. So, killed two birds with one stone. Yeah, no, it's great to be on. I've been a fan of the podcast for, I think I was listening to it since 2015. It's been quite a long time, but I love the podcasts. I love the Dreamcast. It's one of my favorite consoles. I have a ton of games for it. I have the Net City, which is, I guess, the equivalent of the Dreamcast arcade with the Naomi in it. Oof. So I really enjoy it.
So you've got really solid credentials laid out there, Pat. Appreciate that. And we of course really enjoy everything that SHIRO do as well. So I'm sure there's quite a bit of overlap there with the two communities. Thanks very much for joining us. Second of all, and of equal importance, we have the soothing Welsh tones of the Junkyard's own James Harvey.
Ho, 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 ho. Feeling very festive here in Wales. Yes, it's good. And thank you for not putting me last, Loza. Love it when you host. I'm not relegated to the final name out of the hat. So yes, appreciate it.
Exactly. You can give me that fiver later, yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And then last, but by no means least, we have Lewis Cox, the man that is now bravely steering the Junkyard through choppy waters. Captain Cox, are you going to be bringing us some Christmas cheer to this episode?
Captain Cox sounds like a porn star name, Loz.
Yes. Oh, that's exactly what I'm calling you from now on, Lewis.
Oh dear, no.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
But I'm all good. I love Christmas, and so happy to be on this festive episode.
Always happy to have you on, Lewis, of course.
I always do love it how uncomfortable Lewis gets when we just call him our gracious leader as well, and
Yes.
refer to him as the Dreamcast Junkyard leader. It's worth doing every time.
Sounds like a Photoshop job I need to do. Put it right on your Prime Minister. I actually lost track. Who's your Prime Minister now?
But it depends when this goes live. To be honest, it could be anyone.
Yeah, who can blame you? But all you really need to know, Pat, is that the people's Prime Minister is our very own Captain Cox.
Exactly. Captain Cox of the people, Britannia.
Yeah, steering the ship.
Whether you're naughty or nice, we're all getting the gift of Winterfest, only on Radio Sega.
Moving along then, we have a bit of a tradition of kicking off the show with a kind of icebreaker question. Sometimes, it's a little bit quirky, and then other times it's just something that's non-Dreamcast related to kind of break the ice. So given the theme of this episode, and given the impeccable cultural taste that I'm sure everyone in front of a mic has for this episode, I'm sure that our audience are dying to hear some recommendations from you. So what I'm going to ask is, what film, album, or game is a must for you over the festive period? And Lewis, perhaps I can put you on the spot first.
Yeah, so I absolutely love Christmas music, specifically punk rock Christmas music and all sort of alternative rock. And yeah, I have a bit of a reputation in my house for my parents will be like, "Oh, put on some Christmas music," and then usually that's followed by none of that punk stuff, Lewis. So I always kind of get told off for this, but it's just like a thing I kind of got into as a kid and sort of still do to this very day. And so there's I don't really have a specific album, but any kind of punk, there's a few of them if you search. There's a load of these punk rock Christmas albums, and I just love those, and I'll just put them on and just listen to them over and over again until I drive everyone crazy. And yeah, because it's just a bit different. It kind of a bit breaks up the kind of barrage of Mariah Carey and Wham every year. So yeah, I like that. And then game, Christmas Nights into Dreams. I love Nights into Dreams. Christmas Nights into Dreams is kind of taking a game I already love and just putting that festive theming on it. I love going through that and trying to unlock all the extras. So yeah, I love that as well.
Yeah. And when it comes to the punk albums, we're talking about compilations. Yeah. Is this original music, or are we talking punk covers of classic Christmas songs?
Oh, I like a mixture. Blink-182 have quite a few originals that are great. One of them's probably a bit too rude to say on Radio Sega. The Vandals have a good one. Jimmy Eat World have a good cover of Last Christmas. And then bringing it back to the Dreamcast, Bad Religion have a whole Christmas EP. And I think The Offspring have some as well. So there's so much stuff. I don't know who it was who started this whole trend of punk bands recording Christmas songs, but I don't know, it's quite fun just to hear kind of an obnoxious take on the classics. Yeah.
Do they do a cover of American Jesus and call it American Santa?
They should.
I want to hear that. I love Bad Religion. It's one of my favorite punk bands, so much respect.
Yeah. I feel like we all should love Bad Religion, being on a Dreamcast podcast.
Yeah. I mean, there's a place where everyone can be happy. It's the most beautiful place in the whole effing world.
Yeah. Love it.
I love that
Classic.
song.
That's a banger.
Of course, featured on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2, I believe.
Yeah.
I'll be a fake fan, say that's where I got into Bad Religion. I'll fully credit to Tony Hawk. That song is so damn good.
Yeah.
Sorry, so dang good.
It is, undeniably so. On from Lewis's really solid starter. Top marks there. Pat, how about you?
I guess I'll go through all of them. So Christmas movie, I'm going to say that this one's going to be left field, but Batman Returns.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of weird, but yeah, technically it takes place at Christmas, a lot of snow, and Danny DeVito's in it, so Christmas movie for me. Christmas album, I kind of like Lewis. I kind of jump out. I like a lot of the alternative ones, but if I had to pick one album, it'd have to be probably Beach Boys' Christmas album is really good because I'm a big fan of the Beach Boys. Brian Wilson's a genius. But yeah, in terms of the songs, I kind of like stuff like, CKY's Santa's Coming, or All I Want for Christmas is a Bag of Weed, or Frosty the Blowman. There's all alternative great songs. But yeah, there's so many good songs. But yeah, in terms of games, there's actually two. There's this one called Father Christmas that really sucks, so don't play it. It's like it's like this full Japanese, you like go to like different, it's like an exploring game. And then there's Segata-san Shiro Shingen Yugi, which you actually deliver presents as Segata into like chimneys. So
that's amazing. I didn't know that existed.
Yeah, it's on the Saturn Japan only, of course, but yeah, it's really good. It's like a bunch of mini games. You like run through a building to pull people out. You deliver presents on a sleigh. It's like a little mini game. It's really fun though. I highly recommend anyone play it if they want to get in the holiday spirit, or they like Segata-san Shiro like I do.
That's proper like Sega wackiness from the 90s. And is it fully playable for those of us who are, monolingual and can only speak English?
Oh yeah, no. I think there's some Japanese in the menus, but literally it's like mini game. So it's like an arcade thing. So you just hit the start button, you hit the game, and you play it. There's no you have to follow the lore of Segata and have to learn Japanese to learn the ways of the SHIRO. So, but it's a lot of fun.
Nice.
Highly recommend playing that if you guys want to get in the Christmas mood and throw presents down people's chimneys, like I tend to do.
That sounds perfect, Pat. Yeah. So some more solid recommendations there. We need to hear from James as well. I mean, aside from Spirit of Speed, I must stress that. What album, film, or game do you like to spin during the festive period?
I mean, I'm as generic as it comes for Christmas. So, Christmas songs, all the stuff that Lewis was saying he wants a break from, I'll just play on repeat. That's absolutely fine for me.
Yeah.
Gaming-wise, I don't really have sort of any go-to Christmassy games that I play every year, but I do always pick a game that I will sort of save starting until Christmas begins and just play it over that kind of period where you've kind of got time off work with family watching and contributing and things. So like for years it used to be the latest Assassin's Creed game, just used to save it for Christmas and then just sort of play it non-stop over Christmas. This year we've kept Final Fantasy 16, so that's going to be the Christmas game this year. And then movies, again, pretty generic, really. Well, for two of them. I mean, I'm a huge Home Alone fan. Like, I'm literally sat here and I've got a talk boy on my shelf behind me. So Home Alone 1 and 2, I'll watch at least 2 or 3 times every year. And our kind of go-to Christmas film, like normally on Christmas Eve or the 23rd, is, and this will be quite specific to the UK, I guess, but there was a 2-part movie that was made by Sky many years ago, based on the Terry Pratchett Hogfather book, and it was starring like David Jason and people like that. And it was, as far as I'm aware, it's never been released on modern-y type media like Blu-ray or anything like that. So we've just got this original DVD of it, and it's never repeated, or at least not that I've seen. So yeah, that's just a really big one for us that we watch every year with a glass of mulled wine and get into the festive spirit.
I need to watch that. That sounds good. I love Terry Pratchett, so I'm down.
It's really good, yeah. As I said, it's all British actors, some quite famous, some not so, but yeah, it's really well done. And yeah, if you're into the Terry Pratchett universe, it's a really good watch. As I said, it must be about 15 years ago now, and it's very rarely repeated. I don't know if it was a licensing thing or something like that, because it was all filmed by Sky, to my knowledge. But yeah, you can't seem to buy it on any sort of modern media, so unless you can find it on DVD somewhere,
yeah,
you might get a luck.
You need to make a petition. Well, you've got it, so it probably doesn't matter.
I was going to say, yeah.
We'll just borrow your copy. I'll fly over there, pick up a copy, and fly back.
Yeah. Just ship your copy to Pat.
We'll just get a VCD release for Dreamcast. We'll just get Ian Michael to stick it onto a disc somewhere.
I'll get my site too. I'll have Trekkies Unite put it on a VCD too for the Saturn. We'll get that multi-plat release.
Oh yes, yeah, that would be great. Some like old school tape swaps with people posting stuff to each other. I like that, James, especially that recommendation, because we have a lot of listeners from outside of the UK, and so it's nice to have some recommendations that they might not already be familiar with.
Yeah.
There can only really be one recommendation when it comes to me, and that is 1985's Santa Claus the movie. Mm-hmm. And it's this film that was really panned by the critics. I had a quick look and it's got 22% on Rotten Tomatoes. But you can totally ignore that, because as far as I'm concerned, it's a stone cold classic. Maybe that's tempered by, my memories of sitting there with the day off school watching it, etc. But it's this film, I don't know if any of you recall it, but it has this plot that revolves around an elf that leaves, the employment of Santa, and he goes and gets like manipulated by this evil, really stereotypically evil businessman who's like this big toy manufacturer, and he wants to like try and take over Christmas. And that businessman is this guy called BZ, and he's like this cigar toting toy baron who like goes absolutely ape when the elf suggests that they should be producing things for free, and goes off about the importance of a free enterprise system, as he calls it. It's great for John Lithgow's performance in that alone. It failed completely, and especially in the States, it was like apparently massive failure. And then for some reason in the UK, it's kind of got this little bit of a cult following.
Yeah, so was it like panned because it was shit, or because like it was misunderstood, like the Dreamcast was?
It was. I mean, it's probably objectively shit, and
well, all right.
I think it falls into so bad it's good.
Okay, good stuff.
Yeah.
WinterFest is here. Pull on your Christmas jumper and get cozy down by the fire for a full weekend of festive gaming content. Our gift to you, right here on Radio Sega.
To move things on now, because we are technically still a Dreamcast podcast, so I thought in order to live up to our name, we'd best actually have a chat about some Dreamcast-related things too. So I've got 2 prompts scrawled in front of me for the co-hosts and guests. And the first is, what is your fondest Dreamcast-related Christmas memory? And the second is, when Santa squeezes down the Junkyard's chimney, what piece of Dreamcast news are you hoping he brings? So, who'd like the first bite at that? Pat, I reckon you have quite a few stories hidden up your sleeve, maybe, to do with the Dreamcast and Christmas.
I actually do have a really good one.
Shoot.
So, back in '99, I remember, I don't remember exactly, but I remember seeing ads for the Dreamcast, because basically, for those of you who don't know, my first console I ever owned was a Sega Pico, and the second being the Sega Game Gear. So I was a big Sega fan, but I had no idea what the Saturn was, because in the East Coast it was pretty poorly marketed. Like, I asked my parents years later about this, like, yeah, we had no idea what the hell a Saturn was, so I'm guessing by that time it was pretty much thrown to relevancy in the East Coast, but they were aware of the Dreamcast. They had a big marketing push in the East Coast. I remember seeing ads for that, and I guess because they thought I liked Sega, I'd be down for a Dreamcast. So One year I sat around the Christmas tree, opened up my packaging, and I actually have the picture of it. I need to find it. I know that Simon from the Saturn Junkyard did a Photoshop of me holding a Dreamcast, like as a kid. So I have the photo there. It's somewhere on my hard drive. Yeah, it's me opening the Dreamcast out of the box over there. It's the famous first edition box of that. So, and it came with House of the Dead 2 and Sonic Adventure, and I played the absolute hell out of those games. Literally, those games are like a surface scratching for each and every one of them. I absolutely adored it. I beat House of the Dead like 1,000 times. Sonic Adventure, I only beat that once, weirdly enough. I just like playing like the Sonic levels and stuff, and I didn't really care much for Big or some of the other ones. But E102 and Sonic were definitely good. I think Ed wasn't a fan of Knuckles either, but I love those games. Some of my favorite games of all time, and really put me on the path to falling in love with the Dreamcast. And I rented so many games and played so many games that I unfortunately didn't buy till years later. Like I think Power Stone 2 is a big one, Power Stone 1. Mm-hmm. But I played the hell out of the demo disc on there. I think it's the first one with Raider Rumble and Power Stone on that.
Right.
So great demo disc. And Zombie Revenge. I love Zombie Revenge, but I just remember, I think my favorite memory about that era is playing House of the Dead 2 with my grandma. So that was funny.
That's awesome.
I like that. Especially because Lewis also had good experiences with your granddad, didn't you? Playing Dreamcast, I think.
Oh, he wouldn't have played House of the Dead 2.
Oh, really?
If you he didn't do no multiplayer. He's like, no, he only played games for himself.
Okay.
He was like, play this with me, Granddad. He's like, nah, you're right. Like he just liked it. He was so low. Yeah, he was quite kind of grumpy in that way. So usually I'd just kind of watch him play. But yeah, so.
and grandma got into the flow of things, did she, Pat? Or was it just a kind of fleeting experience?
It kind of was a fleeting thing. She also played Smash Brothers with me, so she she's not much of a pro gamer. Definitely not after the greatest gamer of all time. She just played it to me just to humor me and have fun and spend time with me, which I appreciate. Oh. I love her. She's up in New Hampshire now. I don't see her that often, so I need to hopefully see her again. She comes down for holidays and graduations and stuff, so it's always fun having her around.
Get House of the Dead 2 out when she visits.
Yeah.
Relive those memories.
Yeah, I'll have her come over and we'll play some Zombie Revenge. I'll love it. But I love her though, because it's funny. She actually told me about something that blew my mind. Is that apparently I am a relative of somebody that died on the Titanic. So that was that blew my mind last time I saw her. So she just keeps blowing my mind and changing my perception of reality every time I meet her. So it's like a whole thing.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out. Much love from the Dreamcast Junkyard. Okay, so James, how about you, mate? I imagine you've got a few good Dreamcast-related memories from Christmas.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about this earlier. I actually don't have a tremendous amount or I do have memories, but I didn't have anything sort of crazy special for Christmas for Dreamcast. There's a few games here and there. So I guess the most sort of, or the best Dreamcast memory at Christmas for me was, again, 1999. I mean, I picked up the console, obviously, when it came out. And I've told this story before, woe is me, I actually didn't have any games because I didn't have any money for games. So I bought the console and pretty much just played 2 demo discs for an entire month until Christmas. And I had Virtua Fighter 3 TB and I had Monaco Grand Prix Simulation, whatever it's called in whatever country you're listening from, for Christmas. And obviously they were awesome because, I've just been playing demos for the past month and a half or whatever, however long it was. So yeah, there was a lot of fighting and driving in Monaco Grand Prix that Christmas. And then I was thinking back to the other Christmases, Christmas 2000, Christmas 2001. And I just had the most random games for Christmas. The Christmas in 2000, I had Super Runabout, which is a great game, but it's not like a marquee title that you expect people to have at Christmas. And then 2001, it was Carrier, which again is a really good game, but ultimately not really the sort of big hitter that you expect people to get at Christmas.
Was that one you asked for?
Oh yeah, this was my parents wouldn't have a clue what to get me unless I asked for it. So I 100% asked for it. I was massively into Resident Evil at the time, so it was probably, it's another survival horror type game. But yeah, I was just thinking about it earlier actually before the episode, and just thinking, what random games do you have had for Christmas? I mean, other than Virtua Fighter, all the other ones I had for Christmas are pretty like niche titles that most people possibly haven't even played on Dreamcast. So yeah, most of my Dreamcast Christmas memories, and I just remember that first year and just not turning it off and playing Monaco Grand Prix for probably most of the time. So yeah, that would be my memories of it.
I suppose really there's, as you say, there's probably, in terms of the actual commercial lifespan in the UK, there's only 2 Christmases. Was it only 2 Christmases? Yeah, I think so. 2 Christmases.
Yeah, 3 if you include 2001 as well, because you've had Christmas 99, right. Christmas 2000, and obviously it was dead by 2001, but there were still games that had come out which you might have asked for, which I guess is why I asked for Carrier.
Hey, they could have imported some of the 2002 Japanese games, like I think I think Border Down was 2002, right? There's a couple of them 2002.
Yeah, maybe 2003 or like Cyvar 2. Yeah, I mean, you still had tons coming out. But I mean, and given that James's parents knew about Carrier and bought that, back, maybe they would have gone on to do that.
They were like connoisseurs.
Yeah, they were big fans. They had Border Down and Under Defeat already pre-ordered.
Yeah. How about this second prompt that I had there? Just because I put this in just in case folks were thinking that their memories of the Dreamcast at Christmas were a bit boring.
Is this the new requests?
Yeah, like what piece of Dreamcast news would you like?
Online indie games.
Online indie games, yeah.
New online games in the works. Luke has done the hard part now and sort of, created an online game and has made that code available via Simulant. And so I'm really hoping to see more online games. I don't even care what they are. Like, even if we just get some very basic card games or something, but just being able to play new games online on Dreamcast is just mega. More turn-based stuff, the better, I think. You know what those Friday nights are like, Loz. It's just nice to chill out, have a beer and play some Dreamcast online. I don't want to have this Twitch gaming that get from modern consoles. I'm quite happy to do turn-based stuff like Worms and things like that. So someone make me some nice card games, Uno or something like that. Just give me some more online Dreamcast games to play.
Magic the Gathering Online, let's go.
Exactly.
Oh, let me get Tarmogoyf on my Dreamcast, please.
Just whilst that's mentioned, it's so random that Dreamcast game is Japan only. Why is there a Magic the Gathering game on Dreamcast that's only available in Japan? It's so strange.
I'd love to play it as well, but I can imagine like the translation that someone would have to do for that game would just be unbelievably.
It's not too bad though. All the cards translations are online. All you have to do is look up, okay, what is the text for shock or the text for lightning bolt. Honestly, I was talking about it with Derek. I was like, over dinner, I was like, how possible do you think would a Magic the Gathering be? And I was like, it's definitely possible because all the translations of the cards are online. There's databases of each and every card. So if you translate the rough name, you're going to get not only the rules, but all the interactions with it.
Oh, yeah, you're right, actually.
I don't know. I'm a huge Magic the Gathering fan as well because I don't have a girlfriend. So I have lots and lots of time to play it.
We'd love to see it, Magic the Gathering, online on the Dreamcast, a new indie release. Or even Uno, as you say, James. But I think there have to be some creativity there to avoid the big copyright claims. Unless someone goes out and actually gets the official licenses for these things, but who knows?
Wave could probably manage that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I spent thousands of dollars to get Wizards to give me the license for Magic so I can do a game on the Dreamcast.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I would concur with that. Yeah. More online games. We just have to stay good between now and the 25th. Santa will bring it. All right, Lewis. How about you, mate? Are you hoping, for some good Dreamcast news to be delivered to you by Santa? Any good memories?
Sega Gaga translation. There you go. That's the thing I want Santa to bring. I know it is in the works. There was a post quietly put on Dreamcast Talk. Basically, if you look it up on Dreamcast Talk, this guy ages ago basically said he's working on it, but kind of he's keeping it kind of under wraps. Well, that's the thing I think we're going to get at some point. I'm very excited. Hopefully it doesn't kind of fall through like some of the other projects did.
I mean, Sega Gaga translation, I just want to say I feel bad for Santa's elves for you recommending that, Lewis, because that is a hell of a task. Yeah, Santa's going to be bearing down upon those elves with some very liberal working practices to get that done, because it's hell of a task translating that. And I think there's been several failed starts. So if someone can follow through with it, I would be amazed. It would be fantastic.
Yeah. It was like a technical thing that was causing it. It was like the text in the game, I believe, uses like the text from the Dreamcast's BIOS. So it wasn't like some games, like they have their own fonts built in that you can replace, but this one was actually using the system's font. So there was like loads of like technical work that had to be done, but I think they've cracked that now. So now someone who has the kind of passion and the talent to translate it can now go in and do that. So hopefully it is closer than we realize.
Who knows? Maybe I might drop this Christmas.
Yeah, that would be the perfect gift. I have two Christmassy Dreamcast memories. One is that for some reason in a Secret Santa one year, I got Marvel vs. Capcom sealed. This was like after the fact, I think on eBay you used to be able to get games like that for super cheap,
like $20 sealed. It's like let's go.
So I got that as a Secret Santa, and it was like at university. So I'm like, oh wow, this is really cool. Whoever got me this, thanks. And everyone else is just like, why have you got a Dreamcast game? It stopped years ago, but I was happy anyway. But yeah, my main Christmassy memory is that it was around 2011 that I got the Dreamcast again. I used to play it at my friend's house back in the day, but it was around Christmas, and it's that kind of time. When I was younger, like during the holidays where everything's a bit quieter and, you finished school or whatever for the year. And then, I find it's like first sort of time using eBay. So I'll get a Dreamcast ordered and it came, and, a few sort of dubious games like Spec Ops, but then I ordered a few heavy hitters, again, also sealed off eBay for stupidly cheap prices. And so all that Christmas I was playing this old Dreamcast I'd bought from eBay, and kind of being an internet person, always being online, searching for new games and what could I play on it, what could I buy, and I find out that you can burn games onto CDR for the Dreamcast, and that led me to a website called ISOZone, rest in peace. It's no longer exists. I don't even know if it was a website that people in the scene really use that much, but it was one that I frequented because I found it, and it had all these all this homebrew and all these games I'd never heard of, and I just remember this memory of at Christmas, they have all these Christmas TV shows on, and my parents are like, oh, come watch this with us. I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So I'm watching that with them, and then every time the ad break came on, I'd run back to the family computer, I'd load up ISOZone, and I'm like, right, what am I downloading next? Because the speeds on that website were excruciatingly slow. So I'd set one off and then go back into the living room and watch more of this TV. I remember getting the Nesta DC emulator, which had all the NES games, and go through this library, and I've got the cover of Radigy coming up. I'm like, what's that game? Because that has such a kind of a weird cover. And there's just all this homebrew and Beats of Rage mods and all this. I was absolutely just blown away by the amount of stuff that you can do on the Dreamcast. I think that was the moment I realized how kind of moddable and how open this console is as far as homebrew and stuff. So yeah, that was the process of falling back in love with the console again. So yeah, it was kind of a nice sort of cozy Christmas memory for me there.
Yeah, I think, I can appreciate that as well, especially now. Maybe less so when I was a teenager, because you seem to have all the time in the world. But now, you get to Christmas and it's one of the very few periods that you have some extended time off. And I want to I want to go on ISOZone and be burning these CDs, but you also want to be doing the family stuff and the socials. It's it can get a bit manic.
I don't know. I personally, I think going to ISOZone and brewing CDs is a lot more fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, undeniably so. Yeah.
I had a like one of those CD wallets filled with burnt games, like by the end of Christmas. Yeah, with like marker written for each game. Yeah, probably destroyed my Dreamcast laser, but yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to play Dividend somehow.
Yeah, that's the sort of weird stuff you'd see on ISO Zone. Yeah, there's a few games that I'm not going to name that you'd find on there, like weird, like pornographic homebrew that had come up occasionally. It was a bit of a weird Wild West, that website.
Yeah, some sketchy material for sure. But people have their creative freedom, and if you're into that, then go ahead.
Yeah.
We'll still make fun of you for it, but I mean, you could do it.
You could do it, yeah. I suppose I'd best contribute here a little bit myself as well. I mean, being the one-trick pony that I am, my Christmas memories of the Dreamcast are playing it online, of course. And there's just one game in particular that's very Christmassy for me, and that's Phantasy Star Online, because as soon as you get into December, the game lobby has like all Christmas decorations and Christmas music, and yeah, it's just great. And I specifically remember 2 periods of playing it. So like back in like maybe 2006, 2007 or so, I would play online at Christmas, and it would be kind of a chance to catch up with folks that you hadn't played it with for a while. Because lots of people would be like going away to uni or, whatever, doing jobs, and then they get a bit of downtime at Christmas. And yeah, I want to shout out this player, MC Monkey, who was, I think his real name might have been Sam Bradwell from Manchester, but I haven't spoken to that dude in years. But we would play at Christmas a lot, and it was hilarious because he was a couple of years older than me, and I just remember him getting absolutely hammered and then giving me life advice over PSO, like basically telling me how bad the jobs market was going to be when I left uni.
That doesn't sound like life advice. That sounds like telling you the world's going to suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not really life advice, I suppose. It was just kind of one of those.
It's like, listen here, mate, the world is screwed.
Yeah.
You ain't going to do shit.
Yeah.
Like, no job prospect, nothing.
Yeah. But I kind of found it funny because he was absolutely hammered for some reason. I think it would go to the pub and then come home, then hop on PSO. But there was that time. And then the other time that I was really fond of it actually was when I got my Dreamcast back online for the first time during COVID. Because I was going out my mind, cabin fever, of course. And I just remember that being such a good respite when we were in lockdown, being able to hop on PSO and, just shoot the shit with people and play. Yeah, so that was really amazing. And yeah.
You still play PSO?
Yeah, I do occasionally. I mean, I thought I would never get tired of the grinding and the repetitiveness, but I'm now up to like maybe, I think it's like 500 hours or something on my character, and I'm starting to, I need to have a little break. I need a little break, and then I'll come back to it.
Sounds like you need a new character.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's it. I really want to get this one to level 200 first, though, so...
That makes sense.
I think the halfway point in terms of XP is actually level 175, so the last 25 levels take as much as the first.
Wow.
Sounds like fun. Yeah, if you want to hop on sometime, I play it on the Sylvian one.
Yeah. We'll have to play, Pat. Maybe we can brand it, SHIRO Junkyard online crossover.
I'd be down. Yeah, like I said, I like streaming PSO online. Sometimes like I'll boot it up on a Saturday and I'll stream it on SHIRO, and we'll have people hop in the lobbies, hop in, play the game, hop out.
Nice.
But it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. It's like a small like little thing, and it's a good hangout. Get a couple beers, get some chips.
Yeah.
And
give some life advice.
Yeah, life advice. It's a lot of fun, actually. We meet a lot of cool people on there. Like, this guy was playing on, like, a Game Boy clone online with me, and it's like, what the heck? What do you do? It's like, yeah, it's like this little Game Boy-looking handheld with, like, buttons on it. And it's like, and you're playing online wirelessly? It's like, yeah. It's like, all right. And it's like, I'm here with my Dreamcast hooked up to my CRT with a broadband adapter. It's like, okay, interesting.
Yeah. That's my preferred method as well. But yeah, I won't be judgmental. If folks want to play on emulators, on PC, whatever, it's all good.
festive season, why not tune in to WinterFest for 4 whole days of festive shows and more, only on Radio Sega.
I want to also just touch on some of these really amazing submissions that we've had from our audience around the kind of Christmassy themes that we put forward. So perhaps I can highlight a few of them and ask you lads to give your thoughts. How does that sound?
I'm down. Yeah, no, I'm guessing it's these Christmas crackers.
Yeah, definitely. And for anyone who doesn't know, I don't know if this is just us in the UK or if there is anywhere else, but a Christmas cracker is basically a tube of cardboard with like a little bit of explosive in it that you pull and it goes bang, and then inside there's like a toy and a hat. And it's just amazing. You should look it up.
And usually whoever wins the pull, whoever gets like the longest bit of the cracker is the one who gets the thing inside. It's kind of like
Indeed.
I was going to say it's a competition, but it's not. It's not that deep.
Yeah, no. The first time I actually heard about that was actually there's this game called RuneScape, and back in was it 2002? They had a thing where they had Christmas. Also, I'm a big RuneScape connoisseur too, but they had this thing. They had this like Chris. It's like their first Christmas thing. It's like 2002 or 3, where they had Christmas crackers, and you pull it, and then you get like this party hat, and it's like one of the rarest items in RuneScape that you can get. But yeah, no, that's where I really first heard of that. So thank you, RuneScape, for giving me an insight on British culture and Christmas celebration.
God, that brings back memories. Yeah.
Well, given that you're familiar then, Pat, with Christmas crackers, see how some of these sound to you. So Pizza Hotline suggested some pink and blue Hello Kitty crackers to us. And what he recommended was that they be full to the brim with confetti shaped like Dreamcast swirls, which, and I quote, gets everywhere, sticks to your carpet and clothing, and no matter how much you hoover, it won't come off.
I like it. I like it. Just ruin somebody's life. I love it. I love it.
I don't think he was intending to go that far, but yeah. We've got another one from Bobby, who also goes by Wandering Through Shenmue. And what he wants to see is some crackers shaped like VMUs. And they come apart where the dust cap connects. So they'd be a little bit off-center, really. But he gets full marks as far as I'm concerned, because he actually included a bad joke, which most of the people didn't.
Go on, let's hear
it. And Pat, these are meant to be like, the worst dad jokes ever. That's what Christmas crackers are all about. So the joke is, what do you tell your friend when your Dreamcast is having a hard time reading a disc?
What?
It's thinking.
That's pretty good, actually.
But probably the most impressive submission had that we must shout out is a collection of 8 watercolor paintings from Uncle Clutch depicting some Shenmue themed crackers.
Yeah.
And Lewis, given that I've never played more than about an hour of Shenmue, perhaps you could talk to these?
Yeah, so the funny thing is that Uncle Clutch sent us this initial one, which is of Tom, who is the hot dog truck vendor in Shenmue. He says, it seems these cracker things are an English phenomenon because I've only seen them on the Mr. Bean Christmas special. So here's my submission. I want to see one with an entire hot dog inside. Maybe the cracker would warm it up. Yum. So he sent this, and it's this great painting of like a Tom cracker, not Dreamcast Junkyard Tom, but obviously the guy from Shenmue.
It'd be funnier if it was the Dreamcast Junkyard Tom, though.
That would be amazing. Yeah, but he's show, and then it shows it below, like opened up with the hot dog, and it's like amazing watercolor painting. And we'll have to put them on the blog post, so it's kind of an addition to this episode. But he sent that, and then suddenly we get more emails like, oh, here's some more. We've got this one of the kid from Shenmue who's like, please give me 100 yen. And it's got one of the Sonic gacha toys in it. And then you've got one of Charlie, and the gift is there's some temporary tattoos, because obviously you have to meet him at the tattoo parlor.
That's funny.
You've got the drunk dude who says he's fine and dandy, and that comes with a bottle of lager by the looks of it. Kind of a cute one is the cat at the shrine that you have to take care of, which comes with some dried fish that you feed it. It's like one of the mini games in Shenmue. And then you've got the kind of useless guy in Shenmue who asks you to buy him a drink and then is like just does not help at all in your quest. And the I'm so thirsty guy. And then I can't remember the name of this dude, but he's the guy who operates the forklifts. He's like your boss. That comes with a forklift. So that's pretty cool. And then finally you've got Rio, and it says, I should be grateful. Yeah, they're like incredible paintings. So thank you, Uncle Clutch, for submitting those. Like, it's really awesome to see.
No, those are really cool. I think my favorite one is the hot dog one. You can actually get that. I don't know if you guys know, there's like these little candy hot dogs, at least they sell in the US.
Oh, like the trolley ones, yeah.
Yeah, just fill those with that. That'd be kind of funny.
That'd be amazing, yeah. Just a ton of those fall out, yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely put a blog post up. We had a couple of other prompts as well that I want to get to. So our second prompt for readers and listeners was asking for some Dreamcast-styled caroling possibilities, which also garnered a few recommendations. Adrian O'Neill wants Tom Charnock to rock up on his doorstep and sing Escape to the City.
That's a good recommendation. You heard it here, Tom.
He has to play all the instruments too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dress like the Grinch.
Do you think we could swing that, James?
Possibly, yeah. I reckon we'd have to get him really drunk though, and then he might agree to it.
Yes. Yeah. I wasn't there for it, but I have heard that after a few beers, Tom was partial to show his dance moves, so I'm sure he'd be willing to do some karaoke as well. Yeah, we have another recommendation as well from Damien Etornu. Apologies if I'm butchering the second name, Damien. And he wants to see Elton John play the track How Are You from Sonic Shuffle. Now, I don't really know that track all that well, but Elton John's pretty Christmassy.
Yeah, Step Into Christmas, that's his big one, isn't it?
Yeah. But the most creative submission in this category is probably Drew Onia's adaptation of Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Now, the question is, can anyone here bear the embarrassment of reciting it?
Okay, I'll tell you what, I've got it up, I'll read it.
Come on then, go for it, Lewis.
You know Saturn and Xbox and Super Nintendo, PlayStation, GameCube, and SNK's Neo Geo. Good rhyme there. But do you recall the most amazing console of all? I can hear the tune. Dreamcast, the online console, had a dial-up modem. And if you ever played it, no one else could use the phone. All of the other consoles used to laugh and call it names, especially the PlayStation. They never let poor Dreamcast garner many 6th-gen games. I love that. Then on 2000's Christmas Eve, Peter Moore came to say, sign up for our ISP, get a Dreamcast console free. Then how the gamers loved it, and they shouted out with glee, Dreamcast, the online console, you'll go down in history.
Go down in history.
That was good, yeah. There was a bit where it kind of like didn't rhyme, but the joke was there about that no one else could use the phone. That was great.
I like that.
Amazing submission from Drew.
I like that one. 10 out of 10, Drew. 10 out of 10.
And a very solid rendition of it there from Lewis.
Yes, quite.
Thanks. I tried my best. Yeah, it wasn't very tuneful, very monotone, but there you go.
You can release the punk rock version, Lewis. How about that? You'll do that later.
I don't think I can shout. I don't have the vocals for punk rock. I wish I did, but
just do the pop punk version. They sing like, I don't know. Green Day doesn't really do a lot of shouting.
That's true. Yeah, I'll do the pop punk version. There you go.
Hire Travis Barker to do the drums. You know.
We got the budget for that, I'm sure.
You can get the Aquabats at least. They're affordable.
Yeah.
They ain't doing nothing.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, just some third wave ska band that's desperate for the money, sure. Okay, so our last prompt that we put out to the audience was a much more general question, which was asking for some Dreamcast-related Christmas memories. And that led to some quite detailed submissions. But I'll try to summarize some very briefly here. Damien, who I mentioned earlier, also had a Dreamcast memory. And it was about the time he found a 100-franc note outside his school in France before the euro was brought in, obviously, with those kind of nostalgic franc notes. And he promptly used that to buy a 99-franc copy of the Christmas classic Blue Stinger.
Nice.
Classic.
That's quite the Christmas miracle, I think, finding the perfect amount of money to buy that.
So he actually included a photo with the receipt from that original purchase, which is awesome. So,
oh yeah,
shout out Doc's Games in France. If you're in France and that store's still around, go visit Doc's Games.
Yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, that makes it even cooler if the store doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. But fingers crossed. Who knows?
Derek's one was pretty good as well.
Derek, friend of the show and translator, amazing translator of games.
Shout out Derek, much love.
He basically told his cousin that he'd be getting a Dreamcast for Christmas and inadvertently ruined the surprise.
Yeah.
And then he basically proceeded to get a proper bollocking from his parents for doing it. But it all worked out because both of them had Dreamcasts for Christmas and they played them together. But yeah, I like that.
Apparently his cousin still has his Dreamcast, so that's pretty cool as well. A little sort of addition to that story.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah. His cousin Joey. Hey, Joey.
Yeah.
I love Derek. He's so much fun. When I went back to the East Coast, I visited him and Bob from Retro RGB, and we hung out at the arcade over there, the Brooklyn Arcade. It really had a great time. I love Derek.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's one last audience submission that I want to mention, which is from our friend Mike Rocks, who posts a lot in the Discord. And Mike told us about how he was a teenager, I believe, when the Dreamcast was due to be coming out. And as any teenager, he was kind of strapped for cash, and he decided to use his trombone skills to busk for cash on the snowy streets of Huddersfield, all in the name of having enough to buy a Dreamcast. And I just love the idea of a little Mike out there playing his trombone in the cold to get some money to get the Dreamcast. It's a very sweet picture. But also, I'm kind of amazed that he didn't just get immediately moved on by the police.
The buckethead policeman. All right, laddie. Let's move it on, laddie.
Yeah, because they're pretty harsh on buskers now. But I don't know, maybe it was easier back then. And maybe because he was just a child and it was Christmas,
Yeah, I think he said that they thought he was dead sweet because he was, a little kid.
Yeah. Absolutely. So thanks. Thanks very much to everyone that submitted. We'll probably put some of these on a blog post as well and draw it all together, because some of this stuff we've just said, very briefly summarized it, and there's a bit more juicy detail.
Do you know you can get involved in Radio Sega's Winterfest? Jump into our friendly chat room over at radiose.ga/Discord, use hashtag RSWinterfest on social media, and keep it locked to Winterfest all weekend long. Only on Radio Sega.
But for now, I think we'll probably move on to wrapping the show up with a quiz.
Did someone say quiz?
Quiz.
Oh, yes, your ears perked up then, didn't they?
They did. I love my quiz. Right, so, for those who are not familiar with our normal, traditional wrap the show up with a quiz, I like to play Dreamcast Game 20 Questions. And if you don't know what that is, Pat, I'm including you in this. Basically, you guys have got 20 questions to work together and figure out which Dreamcast game I am thinking about. It can be any retail Dreamcast release. And you can ask me questions that I can only answer with yes or a no.
And if you say the game, that's the game over. We have to...
Correct.
Yeah, we have to agree on it and then ask it.
Speed or speed?
If Mike was here, he'd say it's got to be that this week. It's got to be that this week.
Definitely, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So yes, you may begin your questions.
Okay, so to kind of, I suppose, help Patrick... test the waters. What was it we usually ask Lawrence as like our sort of first question? Like, was it in every region, maybe?
Yeah, why not? Was it released in all three regions, James?
Yes, it was.
Oh, no.
Is it a third-party developer?
Yes, third-party developer.
How about we could go into some genres? Sports.
Yeah. Or like, it's like, is it an arcade conversion or?
Yeah. We could ask that. Was it an arcade conversion, James?
It is an arcade game.
No.
Was it a particularly good game, like objectively?
Yes.
I like that.
Is it a Capcom game?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh. Blimey. Okay. We should get Pat on every week.
Is it a fighter?
Yes, it is a fighter.
Okay.
And so is it multiple fighters fighting at once?
Like, for example, like Capcom versus SNK, where you select 3, right?
Right. Okay. No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Okay.
Okay, here's a good one. Seeing as it's Capcom, is it 3D or 2D?
But just say if it's one.
Yeah, is it a 2D fighter?
No.
Okay, so it's 3D game. So what you got? You got like Tech Romancer, Power Stone 2, Rival Schools, yeah, good one.
Are there school children fighting in this one?
No. You've asked 9 questions.
Yeah.
We got loads left.
Let me think. You also got like Plasma Sword as well. Bit more of an obscure one.
I don't think it's a fighter though. All I know is that my friend had it and the disc wouldn't boot. Oh yeah, it is a fighter. Damn, I didn't even know that. See, I'm a fake Dreamcast fan, but so it could be that one. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Is it an arena fighter?
Can you define what you mean by an arena fighter?
So like where you fight in an arena. So Power Stone, Power Stone's an arena fighter, and as is Heavy Metal Geomatrix.
It is an arena fighter, yes.
Okay.
I can narrow it down by a lot. Does it have 4 players able to play at once?
No.
Okay, well that narrowed that down.
Yeah, so it's not Power Stone 2.
I don't actually know how many players you could do in Heavy Metal Geomatrix.
Here's one. Is the soundtrack on vinyl?
Oh my god, I need to look this up now.
Yeah, there could be like bootlegs of.
I mean, official vinyl.
Yes.
Because Power Stone has a vinyl, doesn't it?
It does, and that's the only one I know. So, is it Power Stone 1?
Are you ready to ask that question?
Actually, yeah, because that's the only one I can think of that's a fighter that... Oh, no, because Street Fighter's on vinyl. Oh, shit, yeah, no, that's not a 3D one. Yeah, that's not a 3D one.
Still got 7 questions left.
We could ask if it has a sequel on the Dreamcast, and then if he says... So, James, does this game have a sequel on the Dreamcast?
Yes.
Yeah, so that would suggest it's Power Stone, because...
Yeah, 100%. I'll go Power Stone. What about you guys? You guys Power Stone?
We could ask some really... We could start asking if it's a one-word title.
Shut up, Lars, you're not doing that.
Does it feature Power Stones?
Yes, it features Power Stones.
Yeah, is it Power Stone 1?
It is Power Stone 1, the first game I played on Dreamcast. Well done. I think we need to reduce it maybe to like 15 questions or 10 questions, given that you know it's a Dreamcast game. I think maybe 10 questions moving forward.
10 is good. 20 is a lot, yeah.
Yeah.
But yes, the game was Power Stone, originally released on arcade in early 99 and then obviously on Dreamcast in 99 across all 3 regions. And as far as I'm aware, apart from the PSP versions that came out, it's still one of the only sort of franchises that's locked to Dreamcast, right? Which is quite crazy, really. You're surprised they never remastered it to, even something like Xbox 360 Arcade or something like that.
There was rumors that there was a new one or a remaster that was coming for 2025 or 6.
Yeah.
There's been no word on it. It just was like a rumor thing. So I'm hoping it's still on track. I really want to at least a playable Power Stone Online, like a port of it. That'd be kind of fun.
It's that time of year again. Time for Radio Sega's WinterFest. Join the community over the weekend for live shows, giveaways, the best Sega music, and a whole load of fun. For our full programming schedule, check out RadioSEGA.net.
Once again, I just want to thank all those who sent us their Dreamcastic Christmas ideas and memories. So that was Adrian O'Neill, Uncle Clutch, Dreamcast Enjoyer, Damien Eternu, Derek Pascarella, Mike Rocks, Drew Onia, Bobby, aka Wandering Through Shenmue, and Pizza Hotline. Thanks very much to all of you. Keep your eyes peeled for a blog piece that will feature some of those stories. If you've enjoyed this episode and would like to help us keep the lights on, then feel free to drop us a few quid over at buymeacoffee.com/the DC Junkyard. And the only thing left to do then is for our guests and co-hosts to sign off. So, Pat, where can the listeners find you? Or is there anything you want to plug before we shut up shop here?
You can find Sega Saturn SHIRO on Twitter, or I guess X now, and Facebook at Play Sega Saturn or Sega Saturn SHIRO. You can find me on Twitter at Traynoko, so that's TRAYNOCO. I'm also on Blue Sky if you somehow have that app and you're still on that train, but I doubt that's gonna really be relevant anymore soon. But hear me my words later. But yeah, you can find me there. Like I said, check out Sega Saturn SHIRO. We do a lot of cool Saturn videos, podcasts, stuff like that. A lot of live streams. Like we even do a magazine, and we do like cool like fan stuff, and we try to like facilitate a community sort of thing. So it's kind of like it's more of like a community thing as well. So it's a slow burn, but I think it's a lot of fun. So if you guys want to go over, we have a Discord, or you can go to our website at SegaSaturnShiro.com, and we have links to our Discord, how to play online, our Facebooks, YouTube. You can buy like shirts, you can buy magazines, you could buy Netlink things soon. We have a lot of cool stuff, so if you guys want, check it out. And of course we shout out the amazing Dreamcast Junkyard as well on there, and we collaborate from time to time, so I'd like to definitely collaborate some more, because I love y'all and I love the Dreamcast Junkyard. It's one of my favorite podcasts of all time, and actually is a big inspiration for me starting SHIRO. So that's a fun fact for y'all to put in your brains.
Those are some very, very kind words, Pat.
It's the truth, too. I love y'all. You guys have an amazing podcast. I love. Big inspiration for me, at least to do podcasting, so shouts out.
Well, we're very humbled by that, and I'm sure Tom and the prior, some of the many prior hosts we've had have played a big role in that, so shout out to them. James, anything you'd like to plug, or do you want to tell folks where they can find you?
Yeah, nothing to plug really. Obviously, come and find me on Twitter if you want. My Twitter handle is @AgileHarvey.
Okay, fantastic. And Lewis, how about you?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter @LewisJFC, and I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, and other than that, just the usual blog and that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so the dreamcastjunkyard.co.uk, you'll find all of us writing bits and pieces. The one thing I want to plug is our good friend Mark, who runs Maz Gaming.
Yeah.
He is going to be doing a little bit of streaming on Christmas morning. And I believe he's doing that because, there may be some folks out there who happen to be alone at Christmas for whatever reason. So if that applies to you, or if you know someone who might be, then, let them know that Maz Gaming is going to be streaming for a little bit on Christmas morning. It's Maz Gaming UK on Twitch. He is a great guy and a lot of fun. I don't know where he gets all the energy from, so check that out if you feel like doing so. That's all from us for this episode. So thanks once again to the folks at Radio Sega, and keep on dreaming.
Later.
Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
This is the Dreamcast disc. This is the Dreamcast disc. This is the Dreamcast disc. This is the Dreamcast unit. Playing this disc on a hi-fi or other audio equipment can cause serious damage to its speakers. Please stop this disc now.